All right, well, hey, everybody, welcome to Trending. Today is Thursday, November 19th. It is 9:46 in the morning, and Joe and I are in the Ridge Point lobby. Joe, why are we in the lobby today?
We're in the lobby today because this is kind of like a big thing that we do during the holiday season. Our church is involved with Samaritan's Purse, Operation Christmas Child. I'm sure many of your churches or schools or whatever out there, maybe your families just do it. And so we're actually like a distribution site. So we've got a bunch of boxes behind us. We've had volunteers here all week. We've got a big like semi-trailer in our parking lot, which will take those boxes to a major distribution site and get them over to the kids in the countries where they're destined to. And so it's kind of a cool moment for us as a church. So here we are, gathering boxes. Someone just came in, they had like 72 boxes. I don't even know where they came from. So they're just dropping them off here.
And there were 357 yesterday. Just in one day, we had 357 boxes. So a ton of boxes coming through our doors, which is very cool.
Yeah.
So you mentioned there's a big semi out front.
Yes.
We were going to try to film training this morning in the semi, but we tried it and some of our gear wasn't working, and it's pretty cold out there.
It's pretty cool. Like we love training, we don't love it that much.
Yes. So we're in the comfy air control here that is a little bit more comfortable and our gear's working better. But so if you're watching live or early, it's Thursday. If you're watching Friday, so Monday is the last day to bring your boxes.
Yes, right.
So you still got a few more days to pack those boxes. We've got empty boxes here in the Ridge Point lobby.
Nice.
You can grab some boxes and pack them with your families, and we'll help them get them distributed around the world.
Yeah.
So it's a very cool thing.
It's pretty cool.
So, okay.
All right.
Ready for today's topics, Joe?
Let's do it.
Okay, here, for the first one, the first topic, number one this morning, Kevin McCarthy is trending.
Kevin McCarthy. So he is the head football coach of the Dallas Cowboys.
That's Mike McCarthy.
That's Mike McCarthy.
So Kevin McCarthy is he's one of the House Representatives.
Okay, yes. Like he's the minority leader?
Yes.
Okay.
So he had a filibuster moment yesterday. Have you heard about this yet?
I haven't tuned into that.
Okay, so he gave a speech last night. The House was getting ready to vote on Biden's new bill, right? I think he's not a fan of it.
Okay.
And so he gave a speech that lasted 8.5 hours.
8.5 hours.
And okay, are you familiar with the whole filibuster? Do you know?
Yeah.
Okay, so my understanding is you can't technically do it in the House. Like it's kind of a Senate thing.
Right.
So I guess it wasn't technically a filibuster because it was in the House, not the Senate.
Yes.
But basically, he just spoke for 8.5 hours to delay the vote of Biden's new bill.
Okay.
So it's trending this morning because he spoke all night long about some things related to the bill, some things not, just to delay it. And so
right. So like when I think of filibuster, what comes up in my mind is like didn't like Mr. Smith goes to Washington, like he did a filibuster,
Yeah.
and he was just kind of like reading through the Bible and the phone book and all this stuff. Like
somebody will listen to me.
I mean, what can you do for 8 hours and change?
I don't know. That was one reason why I wanted to bring this up to you because how long do you think you could go in a Ridge Point staff meeting? How long could you keep this going without Brent or Jeff or someone interrupting you or someone cutting it off? How long could you talk just to delay something?
I think I could go a long time, but then like over the years of doing public speaking, presenting, like you develop a keen sense of I'm holding people hostage here. They're getting nothing from it. They're like borderline falling asleep. Do I want to live my one and only life this way? Probably not. And so I think that I think the pressure would get to me, and I would just I would pull the plug.
8.5 hours is a long time to talk about anything.
It is, and all of us as presenters, we tend to have like this Forrest Gump type voice. Like that's all I got to say about that. Like we all have it.
And that's all I have to say about that.
So I think it would just go off after an hour, maybe for me. So that's a really long time.
That's a very long time. So I guess the House might vote on that today, and that'll be a big topic for the days and weeks to come. So anyway, that bill is going through Congress. Okay, something else that is trending from last night. There was a lunar eclipse last night.
That's right.
What do you know about it? Tell us what you know about it.
So it was like something hadn't happened in a long time, and it was a 97% overlap, right? So that's a pretty high, like a 97% on a paper is pretty near 100% in my book.
Yep.
Round that baby up, right? And so I did not wake up for that. Usually when I fall asleep, I kind of like stay like in a coma state. But Ginger, she told me on the way out this morning that she was up a couple times throughout the night, and she was up around the time, so she went out and took a look at it. So. And then some gals in the office, some of our staff who were here, they mentioned that they stayed up and watched it, and they're a little groggy today, but they were glad they did so. So did you get to go see it?
No, and I'm always it always cracks me up whenever there's a lunar something. It's always like, this is your only chance. In your life, this is only going to happen one time. But I feel like those things happen all the time. There's always something that's a once-in-a-lifetime moon thing.
So there's like, this event is a once-in-a-lifetime, but there's so many of them. You're like, oh, come on,
don't be different from the last moon I saw.
Yeah, let's not be a spaz about all this stuff, right?
Right.
No, I think it is kind of cool. Like, you think about like before technology, when people did study the stars and planets and stuff, this would have been a striking event. It would have probably brought wonder. I always think in these moments, like, you feel pretty small when this stuff happens, which is a good practice to realize that we're one out of billions of people on the planet. Many have gone before us, many after us. I'm kind of starting to sound like Tohelet from the book of Ecclesiastes. You know?
Wow.
Like this,
okay.
Yeah, like just kind of like getting a hold of how like vaporous our life is. Like, we think we're important, and all of a sudden like something like this happens, and you're like, I'm just like a blip on the whole tapestry.
Yeah.
So it's kind of I think a good practice to lean into these things if you stay up that late at night.
Yeah. Well, I read an article that, depending on where you were, it may have been too cloudy, and you have to be at just the right spot. So I'm like, I don't know if I want to stay up till 1 or 2 just to be disappointed that I couldn't see anything. So,
yes.
But if you watched it,
yes,
let us know. Was it worth standing up for? Like, we'd love to hear from you. Was the lunar eclipse worth it? What did you think? Was it cool? Did you try to take a picture? That's the other thing.
Yeah, like go ahead and
take
post
a picture.
Post that grainy iPhone picture there.
Moon pictures never turn out. It's
they
always
never did. You're always like, you should have been there.
Exactly.
Do it anyways. It'd be a fun time.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay,
Right.
lunar eclipse.
Okay.
Next up.
Number 3.
I'm not a coffee drinker. I know you are. Did you get one of the Starbucks holiday cups yesterday? Are you up with all that stuff?
Right. No, I mean, I've over the years, I've kind of gotten a holiday cup, but it is kind of a different thing they're doing now. They can't, like, when you get a refill, they can't, like, fill in the same cup, so you have to, like, ditch that cup and get one. So they're under the COVID stuff. I think they're still trying to be careful. So if you buy the drink, you get the cup. And I felt bad for them. They had, like, this big old box with all of them, like, at the register. It was an albatross is in their way. And so I feel bad for them. I might get one. What I usually do with Starbucks is they'll sell a tumbler that throughout, it's like $60. But through the whole month of January, you bring it in and you drink it's free.
Okay.
But they're not doing that because they can't do like the
Right.
refill type thing. So this is their adjustment during the COVID season. So I didn't get one. I'm sure I will get one at some point, but it wasn't like P1 yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Well, my understanding was they had some kind of special edition cup that was just yesterday.
Oh.
There was some kind of special one-day giveaway yesterday. So maybe they still have some around. Maybe they're not completely sold out yet.
I'm sure they will. Anyways, but if you got one and you want to get rid of it, I'd take it. I'll give you something for it.
There you go.
Yeah, I missed my opportunity, I guess.
Okay. Well, Starbucks, the holiday cup is always a big deal. So.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, next up, you told me you don't know who this is. Pete Davidson is trending. I'm amazed that you don't know who Pete Davidson is.
Pete Davidson, like, if I could take a stab in the dark and say that Pete Davidson is like a world-class beatboxer.
Oh, well, you know what? He might be. I don't know. He's on Saturday Night Live.
Okay.
He's one of their kind of most famous people on Saturday Night Live right now. He's known for being kind of a pop culture headline drawer.
Okay.
He's always in the headlines for something.
Okay.
And so he's trending today because the newest rumor is that he's dating Kim Kardashian.
Oh, wow.
So Kim and Kanye split up last year.
I guess I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
That was like COVID fog. I missed that.
It was kind of an on-again, off-again kind of a mess.
Okay.
Pete Davidson was engaged to Ariana Grande. That relationship didn't last, and so now he's with Kim Kardashian.
Okay.
I think she's 41 and he's like 26 or something like that, so that's kind of weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's always in the headlines and an interesting guy. So
this
Pete Davidson.
is probably like his like biggest headline he's ever made.
Probably so.
I mean, like, he's made after this, right?
I mean, he's a comedian. He's funny. He's a lot of people seem to like him a lot. I don't really get the appeal, but he's always in the headlines somewhere.
Right.
A cool story about Pete. I think I'm not making this up. We need a fact checker for trending.
All right, fact check.
So someone fact check me, but I'm pretty sure it's true that his dad was a firefighter who passed away on 9/11. He was a 9/11 firefighter in New York. And so,
Okay.
yeah, Pete Davidson, interesting guy, and Him and Kim are together. Apparently. So,
Okay, well, live long and prosper. Like, what's their name going to be? Like Pete Kim,
Kim Pete,
Kimmy, whatever.
Davidson. That doesn't quite roll up. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess
They'll come up with something.
With repetition, it'll get a whole lot easier.
Yes.
So, all right, you make that one up, America.
Yes. Okay, last one for today. You ready for the last one?
Let's do it.
So CVS, the drugstore, is
Right.
trending this morning.
Okay.
They are getting ready to close 900 stores.
Whoa.
So they've said that with COVID and everything, more and more people are doing prescriptions online.
Right.
There's just less and less of a need for a physical location. So I guess this is a strategic move. They might use some of those stores that closed for other online distribution centers or something like that.
Yeah.
But they're, I think, one of the first really big retailers to shift to looking ahead to online. Like, I think they're noticing that more and more things are moving online, so they competing with Amazon and all that. They're kind of preemptively shutting things down so that they can be ready for the next online shopping, whatever that looks like.
Right.
So just an interesting thing.
I feel like CVS is everywhere. So, like, are we even going to notice all those
That's a good
stores
question.
gone? I feel like there's like a CVS, a Subway, or a Dunkin' Donuts, or a Starbucks. Like, when you turn a corner, like, oh, there's another one. Oh, there's another one, right? But that is interesting that their retail store going to online. You see Amazon, that was primarily online, going to brick and mortar stores.
Yeah.
And so I think this is an interesting little balancing act that we see within the consumer part and experience of our lives is no one can go fully online and no one can fully go retail. Like, you have to broker some sort of balance between them.
Yeah.
And I think that we're seeing that in every industry, including the church. I think the church will always have a online presence. Now, there's debate there whether if it's orthodox or not to have online formats for a church, and every individual Christian and community and denomination is sorting all that out. But I think that we're going to have online Christian communities, just like we have online communities for just about everything else in our lives.
Yep.
So something that we'll see, like how the church balances brick and mortar experiences versus online experience.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. And I think for churches and businesses, I think you're right that like we need both. Right? I think there's a benefit. Sometimes I'm shopping, I actually want to go to the store to try something on or check out if there's a competing brand or whatever. And sometimes I just want whatever's cheapest. I know what brand I want, so I go on Amazon.
Right.
And church, I always want to attend, but I love the benefit of having it available online if I'm out of town or if I want to go back and watch it. So I think you're right that that's going to be the trend, is that you need to have both for stores and churches and schools even.
Yes.
Like the world that we're in now, especially post-COVID, I think you need both.
Yeah, this is one of the things, like we can get grumpy because we don't like how this is, but like that's not going to change anything. Like, this is the world that we're in. People dwell online and they dwell in person. Is that kind of shaping our interactions, shaping us human beings? Absolutely, but it's not going to go away. Like, there's not going to be a magic wand that's going to take it all away unless, I don't know, there's some like catastrophic event that blows up the whole internet,
Takes out the internet.
accessibility. So, and that, I guess that could happen. I mean, there's like a TV show every year that comes out like suggesting that.
Mm-hmm.
But for the time being, I think it would be good for us. It'd be wise for us. So the Bible tells us to be wise in the way that we live towards outsiders, live our life. It'd be wise for us to find out what's the balance for myself in presence, online. Like, how am I going to navigate all this stuff? And then if you're a parent, like you kind of do that with your kids as well. It's not going away, so we need to leverage it for the individual goals and stuff that we have.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
One thing I think is interesting about CVS is my understanding is they aren't necessarily struggling. It was just a preemptive move, like kind of future casting. We might not need all these buildings, or if we do, we're going to need them for different purposes. So let's go ahead and get started.
Yeah.
So that's just an interesting perspective.
That's courageous, because most companies are like, they're closing because they're caving in. Like, they're like, no, we can't do it. But we're I don't know. They had like a meeting of the minds at CVS, corporate, wherever that's at. I'm gonna guess Arvada, Colorado. It's definitely not that. but saying, hey, like, what can we do from here? Like, what is our, every business goes through like a strength, weakness, opportunity, and threat discernment, right? And when it came to opportunity, they're like, hey, what if like we took some of our real estate and we transitioned it for a different use?
Yeah.
And instead of like having the group think to clobber that and to annihilate that, they said, well, what if like that? And saying like who knows is the beginning of something beautiful perhaps. And so let's hope this thing really pans out. That when CVS rolls the dice that they get 7s on this, and it could be a good thing.
Could be. Yeah. It'd be interesting to see who else does this and what those buildings are used for. And I think physical building usage around the country, around the world, is going to change a lot in the next few years.
You bet.
So.
Yeah, you bet.
Okay, that's all I got for today.
Really?
Anything else you want to throw at us?
Nothing at all. I guess like Thanksgiving is next week. It's on a Thursday. Trending is normally on a Thursday.
Right.
As much as I care for you, Matt, and trending as an endeavor, like we got to figure out what we're going to do. So keep your eyes peeled on the feed. Yeah. And trending will happen next week. It's just like when and how and where. Like I'm envisioning like maybe even some like Thanksgiving food in front of us.
Ooh.
And like us, I don't know, trying to mumble through the top 5. I don't know.
Okay, I don't know. We got a couple days to figure it out.
Yeah, so we'll figure that out. But it is going to happen. We're not going to take a week off. It's going to happen. So,
okay.
We'll figure it out from there.
Real quick story from a podcast I listen to.
Okay.
There's a guy on the podcast I listen to who says, if you're not sure what side to bring to Thanksgiving this year, bring a bowl of Bagel Bite pizzas.
Bagel Bite pizzas.
Switch it up. Bring Bagel Bites, because he said he did this recently, and that was the first thing that was out on the table. Before the corn casserole, the rolls, the turkey, everything else was still on the table. The first thing that everyone took was the pizza rolls. So, hey, pizza rolls.
Yes.
I wouldn't turn down a pizza roll on Thanksgiving dinner, would you?
I would not. So, like, all I got to say is this. If this advice goes viral, it started here, or maybe at this podcast, and we should get some sponsorship by Pizza Roll Company.
Yeah. Who's the Bagel Bites? Bagel Bites? I think there's Bagel Bites. Bagel Bites, if you're listening.
Yeah, that's right.
Sponsor us.
There you go. We're looking for the first critical sponsor.
So happy Thanksgiving from Trending and Bagel Bites.
There you go.
We'll see you next week sometime.
All right, sounds good.
Okay, thanks, guys. See ya.